EML1501, that is Emergent Literacy. I'm your lecturer, Mrs. P.S. Makhura. My telephone number is 012-429-6582. Email address emakhoops@unisa.ac. I want to introduce you to the module EML1501, as it is a new module for you as a new student or a year one student. You have to understand the knowledge, skills, and techniques needed to teach emergent literacy in the foundation phase. With regards to communication, you are only allowed to contact your lecturer in the following ways. That's myself, via using your telephone, using my telephone, which is 012-429-6582, my email address, emakhoops@unisa.ac.za, or join all my UNISA discussion forums that I'm setting up. Also remember, whenever you send an email to your lecturer, to myself, that is, make sure that your module name, your name, and student number appears in the communication, so that I can be able to know whose query I'm supposed to address. For this module, the following materials are required. Ensure that you have the following material, that is your TAT letters. Your TAT letters are online, which is TAT letter 101 to 105. TPF, that is the teaching practice module. As a year one student, you are also supposed to complete the activities in that you'll be doing for teaching practice. Therefore, you are supposed to have your TPF 2601 module, as well as your EML study guide, which is also uploaded on my UNISA. I expect you as a student for EML 1501, fully participate in discussion forums, ask questions of clarity, complete all activities, that is your online activities that are posted on your forums and blogs. Work in teams or in groups with your peers. Make sure that you have a clear understanding of the module, especially when you are supposed to complete your assignments. As a student, make sure that you also empower other practitioners. That is when you go for teaching practice. You also have to fully master the module EML 1501. Our module breakdown is as follows. You are going to find your module, as I indicated, on your My UNISA, and the contents are as follows. You are supposed to get for each learning unit a module outcomes and activities, that is self-assessment, tasks and forums, assessments. You are also supposed to make sure that you link theory and practice, that is when you go for your teaching practice. And lastly, you'll also get references. What does the module entail? EML module entails an introduction of the concept of reading, writing, and speaking in the early years of children's learning. That is from grade R. The module starts from grade R to grade 3. With regards to emergent literacy, it is a module whereby we introduce learners to speak, they learn to read, they learn to write. Therefore, emergent literacy starts as soon as a child is born and continues until a child starts or begins school, formal school. Now, our units are structured as follows. For Unit 1, it's an orientation to the study guide or to the study module. Remember, this module is now fully online. Study Unit 2, you are going to get theories of language development. Study Unit 3 is based on emergent reading. Study Unit 4, emergent writing. Lastly, Study Unit 5 is based on assessment of preschool children. Remember, I indicated at the beginning that this is just an orientation. As you will get more information regarding the different study units. The structure of each unit is as follows. the aim of the unit, the learning outcomes of the unit, the introductory statement, clarification notes throughout the unit, activities to engage in and knowledge application, self-evaluation questions at the end of each unit to test your understanding of the unit content, a list of additional reading for knowledge enhancement. Now let us come to study unit 1. What is the aim of this study unit? Now, as I indicated at the beginning, you are going to get the learning outcomes. Now, the learning outcomes indicate what you are supposed to understand at the end of the unit. Now, for this unit, you will be able to define emergent literacy in your own words, outline the stages of language development from infancy to 5 years, discuss the acquisition of listening, speaking, reading, and writing. You'll also be able to list and explain the significance of emergent literacy skills. Describe the role of teachers in fostering emergent literacy. Lastly, you'll be able to discuss play as a pedagogy. In this short presentation, we will show you why it is important that teachers know how children learn to speak, read, and write. In other words, we will show you why teachers should understand how children learn language. Study Unit 2. At the end of the unit, you will be able to explain the different language theories in detail, compare the different theoretical perspectives critically, list language stages in correct sequence, apply the length theories in your teaching with understanding, assess the relevance and application of specific theories for your teaching context. You will be introduced to the behaviorist, nativist, cognitivist theories of language development. Being familiar with theories of language development will enable you to understand the process of language development in children and how these theories influence classroom practice. You will know the difference between the group of theories that argue that language development is the result of environmental influences and the group of theories that say language is a natural phenomenon that is inborn. Now, briefly, here follows the theories of language development. Now, as I indicated in my discussion, we have the behaviorist, the nativist, the cognitivist, and each one of them has their own views on language development. According to the behaviorist, you will learn in full as you interact on the online, on your study guide online. I indicated that we have the behaviorist, the nativist, the cognitivist. They all argue and discuss the process of language development and how it influences on classroom practice, the result of environmental influences as well as natural phenomena. Study Unit 3, Emergent Reading. Now you are expected to understand the following learning outcomes. You will be able to create an environment that is conducive to developing emergent reading, use appropriate techniques and strategies to promote listening and speaking skills, choose appropriate strategies for developing emergent reading in your class, choose appropriate resources and media for enhancing emergent reading, use different approaches and techniques for promoting and developing emergent reading. You will learn the stage when young children start to recognize print, words, numbers, and shapes in their environment. This is called environmental print. Have you ever wondered why young children who cannot read but are able to know the symbols, that is, for example, KFC, when they see it? Emergent reading should not be confined only to school. Parents should also be encouraged to talk to their children and to encourage them to be aware of written labels, both inside and outside their home. As I indicated in the previous slide, children are able to interpret or read the different labels. And when they see a label, they then are able to link it or read, call the name out of the label. Now, as I indicated or emphasized earlier on, parents should be encouraged to talk to their children and to encourage them to be aware of the written labels, both inside and outside the school, the home. Now, on this slide, you will see the different types of symbols that are familiar to children. For example, McDonald's, King Burger, those are some of the common symbols that are familiar to young children. That's where they start reading. Study Unit 4, the learning outcomes for this study unit, you will be able to explain the meaning of emergent writing, list conditions that are basic to children's writing abilities, outline the different stages of writing that children go through, create an environment conducive to the development of children's writing, design activities that will involve children in writing, design activities that will develop children's writing skills. You will learn about the prerequisites for the acquisition of writing skills and the stages of emergent writing. As a student, you need to understand the process by which children learn to write and interpret their mock writing so that you are able to guide them towards the mastery of writing skills. That is on emergent writing. Now here follows as in the previous slide, the examples of prerequisites for the acquisition of writing skills. Now, as a teacher or as a student, remember, you are training to be a teacher. You need to understand the processes by which children learn to write and interpret their mock writings as indicated earlier on. Therefore, it's your responsibility as a teacher to guide them towards the mastery of these writing skills. The last unit will be your study unit 5, which is assessment of preschool children. Now, regarding this study unit, at the end of the unit, you'll be able to define what assessment is. Remember, assessment is very, very important in teaching in the foundation phase. Now, you will be able to define assessment in your own ways, differentiate between assessment and evaluation, explain why preschool children need to be assessed. You also have to describe different tools assessing preschool children. Lastly, discuss difficulties associated with preschool assessment. Now you will learn about the importance of integrating assessment with teaching and learning and how it should be used to improve learners' performances and to inform the teacher at the next level about the strengths and weaknesses of individual children. As I indicated, you must be able to integrate assessment with teaching and learning. As you teach, at the end of every lesson or activity that you are teaching, you assess. You want to know whether the children are achieving or have achieved what you have taught them. Now, the importance of assessment is to improve learners' performance and also to inform the next teacher, the teacher at the next level about the child's performance, and also you're all able to identify the child's strengths and weaknesses. Presentation 2 will be on linking assessment activities to theory and practice. Now, in short, I'm just going to introduce you to some of the activities that you'll be expected to do during your practice teachings. The module structure is reflected through a set of outcomes. These outcomes will guide you in your observation on completion of the portfolio in preparation for assessment. After completing this module, you should be able to understand teaching and learning practices at foundation phase level. Based upon meaningful connections to theories and observations, the learning outcomes referred to here are those you are expected to achieve, and the assessment criteria will guide you in achieving them. Your specific outcomes are as follows. Learners are able to observe, analyze, and interpret the planning and presentation of developmentally appropriate learning activities effectively. Your assessment criteria, remember each and every specific outcome has to be or is having an assessment criteria. This will be evident when the completed workbook shows your application of knowledge in order to analyze, interpret, and explain the planning and presentation of appropriate learning activities. Now, linking between theory and teaching practice, that is EML1501, together with your TPF2601, you will be able to observe as you are doing your teaching practice, emergent reading. Now, with regards to emergent reading, the following you'll be able to observe environmental print, which provides clues for the decoding of words by always giving the context. For instance, a billboard advertising Vodacom will always have the picture of a cell phone, which provides clue to the word. That's according to Newman, Hood, and Ford 2013. They maintain that interaction with the environmental print is an important way for children to build experience of the importance of print. Activities that promote emergent reading include storytelling and story reading. Have children participate in a variety of activities, including shared reading and independent reading. Create a print-rich environment that is labeled different areas in the learning center, such as where the blocks are, the fantasy area, as well as label pictures in the classroom so that learners read incidentally by associating the words with the pictures. Emergent writing. With regards to emergent writing, it is an indication that young children begin to understand that writing is a form of communication and that their marks on paper convey a message. That is according to Lonigan, P. and Kim 2011. There are different activities that promote emergent writing. Now, the following are some of the examples. The development of gross and motor skills. Have children participate in a variety of activities to help them manipulate their bodies. For instance, spatial awareness will help children to position themselves correctly at their desks in order to write properly. Participation in activities such as cutting and pasting, tying shoelaces, or threading beads develops fine motor skills, which is closely linked to writing ability. Eye-hand coordination. Have children participate in activities that include inserting pegs into a pegboard and painting, as this helps to develop their eye-hand coordination. Lastly, you are supposed to be able to complete your assignments. Now, remember, we have assignments for the theory. Now, with regards to the theory, we have 5 assignments. Assignment 1 is your MCQ type questions. And then you also have your portfolio. That is when you are doing your teaching practice. Now, your portfolio consists of a combination of activities that is practical application of the theory. Your assignment 2 to assignment 5 are short essay type questions. Outline of the presentation: equipping student teachers with the knowledge, skills, and techniques necessary for teaching emergent literacy in the foundation phase. Discussions on the definitions of emergent literacy have been indicated. Theories on play, understanding the process of language acquisition, promoting emergent literacy, assessment in the foundation phase, as well as linking theory and teaching practice. This was the brief of the orientation. Now, you have been introduced to emergent reading, where you are supposed to create an environment that is conducive to development of emergent reading by selecting relevant resources and media to enhance emergent reading. Emergent writing: create an environment that is conducive to the development of emergent writing by designing activities that engage children in writing, as well as assessment, where you use a variety of tools to assess preschool children. Lastly, your assessment submission dates for 2024. Assessment 1 is a multiple choice type and is compulsory that all students must submit it. The submission date of this assignment is the 26th of April, 2024. Assessment 2 is an essay type and it's also compulsory that all students submit it. The closing date for the assignment is 28 June 2024. Assessment 3 is also an essay type and it is compulsory that all students submit it. The closing date for this assignment is the 16th of August 2024. Assessment 4 is also compulsory and it closes on the 27th of September 2024. Now, with regards to assessment 5, this assessment is an elective and should be submitted only by students who could not submit either assessment 2, 3, or 4. Students who did not perform well in any of the 3 essay type assessments are also of the 3 compulsory assessments can also participate in the writing of this assessment. I hope everything has been clarified, and for more information, you will be engaged in forums and also other activities that will guide you as you engage in your assessments, and more study units will be uploaded on the forums. Thank you so much and good luck in your studies.